All right. Hey there. I think we're live now. So just gonna pull up the stream here on my other screen. All right. I think we're good to go. So continuing on with the Spanish Peak Scout Ranch development, I have made a couple changes um, since we last spoke. Let me maybe show you what I've done thus far. I've learned a few more, uh, few more things. Um, so I have this map here, and just to recap, we've accurately scaled this to real world size by using a few different techniques. Um, and so basically, if I drop in here next to the commissary, you can see that this is about the size of the commissary. I don't really have the buildings absolutely to scale, so I need to work on that. But everything else, the dike walls, camp, some of the other buildings in relation to other buildings are to scale, like the distance between buildings are to scale. So like here's the commissary, and over there is the trading post. This would be, going through Bear Creek. Then we're at the trading post. I have a little mannequin here for scale. And then down here to the left is going to be handicraft, and over here to the right is, of course, the road to go up to campsites. And then there's this little drop off here, which is pretty accurate, I think. The only problem with this right now that I can think of is these roads here are a little bit too wide. And I'll show you how I made the roads here in a second. Um, but there's also the admin building, which if we cross Bear Creek again, you see the admin building right here. And I could probably get the admin building scale just a little bit better as well. I haven't really figured out how to get the right scale for the buildings. I'm like thinking about calling up the council office and seeing if they have like a blueprint or something of some of the buildings. So I made a road, and basically the road is this yellow or green spline here, and this spline system is something inherent to Unreal Engine. It's basically meant to shape the environment to a certain, uh, sort of dike or like wall type shapes. And so it's really good for roads because you can deform the earth around. So let me change the landscape mode, and this will pop a little bit more. We go to manage and then splines, and then we select all segments. So these right here, maybe it won't pop too much, but actually that's not any better. Let's go back to selection. Yeah, so basically these green things are the roads, as you can tell. So you can see this is the shower house, and the lake is right here. And then the roads are all right there. So what I want to do is compare the roads to Google Earth. So I'm going to pull up camp in Google Earth, and we're going to compare the roads. We're going to try to get as accurate as we can here. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good comparison. So you can kind of see, like, here's the pond in the middle. Here's the pond. Um, all the campsites kind of meander around here. I probably need to make this a little more wavy. But I have a list of things I want to do for this session, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in my notes here. So let's see. We're going to finish all road splines. So this includes Shangri-La. How do you spell Shangri-La? Yeah, this includes Shangri-La Road. This includes the Camp Road that goes uh, up above camp. So this road right here, you know, the one that goes right in front of shooting sports, and it continues on up around all of camp, and then goes basically up to the staff shower house. So I'm going to call this Camp Road. There might be a better name. I might end up asking somebody if they know a better name. I'm just going to move my windows around here. I'm going to move my Twitch one over to the other screen so I can see it. Get my stream a little better adjusted. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Okay, and then we have Camp Road. I think I'll do the Southern Estates Road as well, just to have it there while I'm doing roads. So the Southern Estates Road, and then we'll do the Sally Road as well. I don't know if that's the official name, but you know, it's whatever this road is up here. Oh yeah, this is Zachariah's cabin, I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong here, let me know, but I think this is Zachariah's cabin, unless it's this one over here. I don't know. See, this is where I need like a little bit of help from people streaming, to like give me some pointers and things that I might have missed. But okay, so we got the roads. I think that's it. I don't really want to do the Bear Valley Road, Shangri-La Road, Camp Road, Sally Road, Southern Estates. Okay, and then we want to finish all of the buildings. So these should be pretty easy. If we drop into Unreal, let's see what buildings we have left. The shooting sports building. So shooting sports. I guess archery as well. That's in there. the um, the shop, the forget the name of that building. You know, the one down by the trash. It's not a shop building. It's like I don't know, some other building, but you know what I'm talking about. I think I want to make a little box for the dumpster down by the shop building. By shop. We need the staff shower house. Um, and then, unfortunately, all the staff cabins were burnt down in 2013. But how do you want to make them again? I think it'd be really cool to make them. So, staff cabins. I believe there were two of them. I wonder if Google Earth has them. No, no, they are definitely gone. There was one right here, or maybe it was right here, and there was another one like right across the street. So, two staff cabins. I bought. Oh yeah, so I bought a mesh. It's like an asset on the Fab marketplace for Unreal, which is basically just a way to buy content that you can put into your game. And I bought a canvas tent for like $2. So we're gonna place tents. Um, One thing I want to do before we get to the buildings is I want to section off the campsites for the campers. So I want to like make an area that's like here's campsite 1, here's campsite 2, campsite 3 so that I have a better visual spatial representation of camp and I can like fly to them specifically and like work on them individually and I'll create bookmarks for them, I think. So section off areas for uh, campers, campsites. We'll do that. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what would be awesome is if there was somebody that had like a printout, because I think we used to give out like a piece of paper that had a map of camp. So if anybody has a map of camp that they want to send me, that would be really awesome and that would help me. I mean, obviously we have like Google Earth here, but sometimes it's hard to see camp, especially after the wildfire. I mean, there's a few things, but um, oh yeah, more buildings we need are we'll get to it last on the buildings, but we also need the bathrooms because there were new latrines built. Latrines. Is that how you spell latrines? Yeah, that's it. So new latrines and campsites. We also need to section off areas for merit badges. So we have my favorite, outdoor skills. And I downloaded in the Fab a really cool mesh for fencing, for like medieval like wood fencing. So I think I'm gonna like section off this like this like like with this fencing that looks like it's been lashed together as if it was in real camp. So honestly, a lot of these assets I'm probably gonna have to switch out, and so I think Eventually, I'll buy like really nice assets, or I'll make some, or maybe if anybody wants to collaborate, they can help. But what I'll probably do is group them up into these like folders here. And you can see I already started one with the buildings. And what's cool about that is I can select all within that folder, and we can see I now have all of the buildings selected. They're highlighted. So if I do that again, I go to select and then immediate children, and you can see these are now basically like selected or highlighted. So I can further put these into their own folders. So I'll probably have one for admin building, and then eventually I'll like put a whole bunch of stuff into admin building, like a chair on the patio, and maybe like a car up front or like a light. All these things go into the admin building. So going back to my notes, section off areas for merit badges, outdoor skills. The other really important one is first class trail. If you remember, all first year scouters were told to, basically go to first class trail their first year, of Boy Scout camp. So that was a very important area. Pretty much every camper that went to first class trail, and honestly, like most staffers that joined, um, probably helped out with first class trail in some way or another, whether directly or indirectly. So that's a very important area. So we have outdoor skills, first class trail. Um, I think we probably need to put uh, the nature area. Trying to remember, is that really what it's called? I think it is the nature area. And this is more than just merit badges. Section off areas, section off important areas, and merit badges. Activity areas. I'm trying to remember what they were called. Let's just call them merit badge areas for now. So we have nature is in there, outdoor skills, first class trail. So that's good for merit badges. Let's do the flags, and then I can make little cylinders for the flag poles. So this is going to be the main flags under the mountain, or at the oh, that's right. There used to be over by the medical lodge. There used to be or over by the flagpoles. There used to be a medical lodge which was burnt down in the fire as well. So let's put in medical lodge because that's pretty important. We're gonna put a X here because I actually we put it at the bottom. It's okay. Looks like I have everything neat. Medical lodge. I'm super stoked for the idea of like actually putting real characters in this game, especially people that I know personally that were the main, person for that area. So like outdoor skills, like I want to put me and maybe Chris Orozco in there. Uh, for like the medical lodge, my mom was the nurse a few years in a row, like one or two of the weeks, or like actually one year it was for the whole summer. So I want to put her in there and maybe some other um, person. And I want to get suggestions from people too, but um, I think this could be really cool. Putting people in. I haven't quite gotten to like character development and like building a usable character, but hopefully I will soon. Okay, section off areas for campsites. I think it goes to campsite 8, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so finish all the buildings, flagpoles. The chapel is a really important area, which there's also a building there. So let's put a chapel in the buildings that we need to finish. Okay, are there any other buildings that I am missing? Don't think so. Um, okay, so first things first, let's finish all of our road splines. So I'm going to move my notes. I'm going to put that back in there. I think I can put it in there. No, okay. I'm going to move my notes over to my other window here. And then I have the stream chat over here. All right, so we are going to drop back into Unreal. And I'm going to move my outliner over to uh, my other screen. And then we're going to make Unreal bigger here. So let's go ahead and make the rest of these buildings. So the first one, or sorry, the rest of the roads. So the first road we're going to do is Shangri-La. And if you recall, Shangri-La is this road that you hit right before you jump into camp. And so that's really convenient for us because basically that road comes right here and goes up the dike wall down on the north side. And right after that road, if you remember, is the opening to camp, right? So right here is that road, and then the scout law is right here. Which, by the way, I need some pictures of the scout law if anybody has them. The scout law, that's visible on those limestone pillars on the way into camp, because I want to try to render that in Unreal with, you know, artistically, I want to try to build that within Unreal. So if anybody has that, want to send it to me, that would be awesome. I could also maybe ask my parents if they have any photos like that. Hold on, I gotta read a text real quick. Sorry, I'll be right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and build this Shangri-La road. So I'm gonna go into landscape and we're gonna select splines. And basically what we have is this very accurate location data for this Shangri-La road. So we're just gonna jut off from here. We hold control and we create a new node and then we drag it and we hit control again. Control, control, click, control, click, control, click, control, click. And then there's this little area up here where we do like a 180. Control, click, control, click, control, click. And then Shangri-La Road. Actually, I'm going to control Z because that was a little too quick. There we go. So control, click. That's more like it. And I remember one year at camp, there was somebody building a cabin down here, and this was like right before the fire. So I don't know if this cabin is still here. But we can see this road keeps on going this way, basically out to nothing. And there we go. So that's Shangri-La Road. I think maybe there's another road that goes this way, but we're not going to worry about it. So Shangri-La Road is built, but what I'm going to do is change a little bit of an aspect here. And we're going to snap this into position so we can see it. Okay. And then we're going to drag it over and move my outline back over here. Okay, so we need to change the size of this because this road is a little bit too big for what we want. And so we have, I think we have all these selected. Let me verify. Okay, no, we don't. So I'm going to select all these. I think I want to select all these. Is that one? No, I want to select these points. That's right. All right, so I want to select these points. So we'll select that, 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 that. This point as well. These points. And we're basically going to go the whole way. There's probably an easier way to do this, and I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. But basically what I'm trying to do is be able to change the size of the road, like the width, because this road is currently too long. Or not too long, but too wide. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to talk and like concentrate at the same time whenever I'm doing this. Okay. So we have the half width. I think we want to switch this to 500. See how it made that a little bit smaller. And then I think that's it. Let's then hit, let's look at that. So let's then hit the deform landscape to all selected segments. Maybe all splines. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, so we just deformed the landscape to be following this spline. I don't like this fall off. I want it to be a little bit closer. So I think we switch that here. 500. Yeah. So we need to make this like 100. Yeah, there we go. We need to make this 100. So I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to change the side fall off. And we're also going to undo our apply all splines landscape. Okay. And then I think we need to select all these again. No, it looks like they're selected. Yeah, they're selected. All right, so let's change the side fall off to 100. And then the half width is on 500. All right, so Shangri-La Road is there. Now we just hit our deform button, which is deform landscape on selected segments. Maybe it's all splines. Okay, I think that's it. So we basically just cut into the side there. We've made a little bit of a road, as you can see. Looks like I need to brush out some of this terracing here from the resolution. But we definitely have a road. I think this is a good technique to use. And I'll probably shape this up a little more whenever I actually build the road itself. Because I have a mesh. So I actually did some work last night. So I bought a mesh for dirt roads on the fab, and it's somewhere in here, but it's like 8K resolution, and so it just killed my laptop. It just dropped it out entirely. It crashed all of Unreal. So yeah, I'll have to probably wait to do road terrains until I get my desktop computer back. That's no worry. It'll be like a month from now. While I'm here, I'm just going to clean up some of this terracing. So we're going to go to smooth. We're just going to smooth some of this out because it's pretty noticeable to me. I definitely thought I got this part, but it's not. And smooth that out. Okay, that looks better. And I'll end up sculpting more of this road later. But let's maybe drop our character in just to see how this looks. See if this feels accurate. So I'm going to go to selection. I go to player start, and we're going to move object to camera, and then we're going to hit play. And then here's the road, the Shangri-La Road. You can see there's kind of a drop off, which is pretty accurate. Uh-oh. Let me stop that and replay it. So of course the texture, like the material of the earth, is off. Like I need to actually put a dirt road down, but the spline is there, so the dirt road can be put down. This looks pretty good. Like there was a pretty significant drop off, on Shangri-La Road. I'll have to clean this up because again, there's a little bit of terracing going on here. I think that's just an effect of the spline. And I'll put like some rocks and sand and stuff, but I feel like this is great. Like this is pretty accurate from what I remember Shangri-La Road. If you recall, Shangri-La Road was just like this random road that would take you to the backside of the dike wall. And I believe for climbing Merit Badge, we'd have to go to the backside because there was a really good rock climbing area right here on the maybe the Orange Trail. I don't even remember. And so we did take Shangri-La Road for a good reason. So, here's Google Earth. Shangri-La Road is right here. We can see it kind of climbs up the dike wall, and then there's a road. And then the dike wall right here, there was like a really good rock climbing area. I actually don't remember this road. This might be a newer one. Someone maybe built a cabin here. I do not remember that. I remember this cabin being built. There was like a ton of construction one year. But okay. So on the right is Google Earth. And on the left, my Unreal Engine is deciding to save. But let's just compare the two, see how this looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Shangri-La Unreal, Shangri-La Real Life. I'm gonna call that good. Something like that. Man, this is so fun. I should have been a game developer for my profession. I'm like really loving this. Okay, I do want to add one more item to our to do for today, and that is create the dike wall. And we could maybe put some rocks down for the dike wall, but I think I want to just do like volumetric boxes or like ovals or something for the dike wall. This is called volumetric boxing, I think. I don't know, there's probably a better name for it, but it's just blank boxes that represent like big areas of your map that you want to put in like features later. So we'll do that later. All right, so Shangri-La Road is done. That's completed. Now we need Camp Road. So Camp Road is this bypass road that went on the right side of camp as you were coming in. And so we're going to get that done. So we're going to jump over to Unreal and let's see if we have a rendition of Camp Road and a rendering of Camp Road. And I think we do. I might need to confirm by comparing the two here. So I'm gonna read this over again, and we're gonna move Camp Road. So I'm pretty sure this outline here is Camp Road. And it comes back this way. So this is Camp Road. And then we also want to do Southern Estates, but basically right down here is where we'll start. If you remember, there's a pond. Like right here, there's a pond, and then the admin or the shop, and then Shangri-La. So let's go ahead and start from right here. I think is where I want to start. So right before this last one, I'm gonna move this Google Earth over here to my other screen so I can reference it. And then we're going to start with a new spline. So we'll go to landscape, manage splines, and we'll start from right here. I'm just going to place this road. Whoops. Select that and then make another segment off of it. Okay, there we go. I think it kind of like went up just a little bit. We're going to bring Camp Road down. Next to Commissary. And then down in front of the admin. And right in front of the admin, it's going to curve and go right back down here. All right, so that is Camp Road. And I think I can select all splines. Select all segments. Nope. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah, I guess it picked those two. All right, so we want to pick all segments in between. How do I select all segments? Let's start with Unreal. How to select all segments in spline between two splines. Let's do Unreal. How to select specific spline segments. Okay, let's see what AI says. Select the spine, click the spine component in your level to activate it. Hold Control and click on the spine segment you want to select. This allows you to select multiple segments if needed. Get spline component node to reference your spline. Okay, so let's try the control. Hold Control and click on spline segments you want to select. Select a segment. This just creates new splines. I don't want to create a new spline though. Control certainly does it. Or sorry, Shift does it. The only problem though is I'm not selecting the point. I'm selecting the segment. And I want to select the point. Landscape spline control point. Landscape spline segment. Landscape spline control point. How do I select just certain splines? Let me ask Google that. How to select certain splines. Select and edit multiple spline points. That's what I want, is spline points. From the grave. Unfortunately, there's no such. Okay, but there's a way to create this feature. Dead thread because I had the same question. All right, I might just have to do this manually. I hate that idea, but so we hold down Shift and then we select all of our points. There, there, there. I might be able to lasso it. Might be something I could try. I need to do a little more like learning in a different level other than SPSR. This isn't too bad. The reason I'm selecting these is because we need to change the width of the road again, because as you can see, this is a little bit too big. But we're about to deform the landscape, so let's go into our details. And we're going to change the half width to 500. Then we're going to change the side fall off to 100. And this gets us a much more accurate road, which is the right size. And then Shangri-La, or not Shangri-La, but Camp Road will deform the landscape to our road. So at this point, I'm going to select deform land to selected segments, actually all splines. There we go. Let's do it a couple more times. Yeah, that road looks good. This road looks good. Let's see about this one. That looks fine. Do we have a cut in the side of the hill? Looks like we do. All right, so generally that's good. Okay, feel pretty good about that. While we're here, let's save, and I'm gonna actually put a mesh on top of this because I really want to have these roads pop so that I can like accurately see them anytime I'm in, uh, anytime I'm in the tool. So we're gonna go locate a mesh from Fab, and this is gonna be a low poly mesh. Before I do anything, I'm gonna save all, just so if this crashes, we can recover it. All right, so we're gonna search for dirt road. Let's see if we can find a low poly count because I'm still on a laptop. It's really the theme of this is I'm on a laptop. All right, so dirt road. I looked at this one yesterday, road terrain. I don't think this is gonna be good because this is like this whole area. It's not the road. Um, we have stone road. We have forest road ditch. I don't think we need a ditch. American snowy road terrain. I mean, maybe, but these are way too, that's way too big. It's going to crash my computer. And it doesn't have to be accurate because I'm gonna put in a different texture once I get my computer back. But ooh, I kind of like this dirt rock wall. What is this? I wonder if this would be a good use for the dike wall. It might be pretty good. I downloaded it, so we'll maybe use it eventually. I definitely have the idea just to do the volumetric blocks for the dike wall, which, by the way, we need to calculate um, the actual the actual width of the dikes. We could probably Google this, and then we'll scale our volumes to be accurate. Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing any free dirt roads, so let's look at 3D dirt roads that we have to pay for. And let's find a very cheap one that has a low poly count. So that is way too big, way too many triangles. It's gonna brick my computer. Dirty road scan. That's even bigger. Can I change my filter to be low poly? There we go. Modular highway, dirt road. How about gravel road? Low poly gravel road. Nope, nothing there. Okay, I definitely saw one yesterday, and it was like a whole pack of low poly. I think it was medieval road low poly, and we're gonna remove this low poly. See if we can find, here it is, country road set. It was the third one, I think. Yeah, this one was pretty good. Dirt road 3. So I think I'm gonna buy this one, and I'm gonna go off camera here because I don't want you to see my credit card info. And this should make it to where we can use it and it doesn't just absolutely brick my computer. All right, well, that's purchasing. I'm gonna go grab some more food. Okay, I just bought it. Or not food, but water. I'm gonna add to project and that's gonna download all those. So I'm gonna go grab some more water. Okay, I got some more water, and by water, I mean athletic greens. AG1. If only they were a sponsor. All right, so I've added this library, added this mesh to my library. So before we risk dropping out my computer, let's save everything. Raise my desk up just a tad. Okay. Um, so I have, yes, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I have the mesh ready to go. I've clicked on these splines right here. I've deformed the terrain, and then I bought a new pack, a new mesh pack. So we're gonna go to content drawer. We're gonna go to country roads. We're gonna go to meshes, and then we're gonna go to random 3, not cobblestone, but dirt road 3. And we're gonna drag this over to mesh, and we're gonna see what happens. Hmm, not very accurate, is it? That's not very accurate. Um, Might need to watch the video real quick on how to maybe a pack. You'll also find a nice walking path throughout camp. Yeah, so we'll check out maybe another pack for walking around. Yeah, I guess that might be a little bit different than the road itself. Or are you talking like a path between like campsites even? Because yeah, I guess there were a few trails like in between Camp 3 and like First Class Trail. Okay, I need to find a video for um, adding mesh to line road. See if we can find something here I can watch real quick. Actually, I know I have a playlist. All right, so somewhere around here, they're probably going to be adding this material. Wow, there's a lot involved here. I'm probably going to have to watch this off video, but view channel, playlists, game dev. Pretty sure I had one in here that was road splines. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so creating a road spline. So this guy went into meshes. He dragged it over to spline meshes. Okay, he created an array there. So he did spline meshes. So let's maybe select a couple of these just to test. I will select this one. And we'll select that one. Okay, and then in our details pane, where did my details go? Oh, there it is. I don't know if I'm selected that, or if I selected that correctly. Oh, do I have to select? Oh, okay, that makes it easier. I see what I did. I selected the point last time. And I actually need to select the mesh itself or the spline itself. So let me go ahead and do that. So shift, hold that down, and we can, this is much easier to select because we have a bigger area than the points themselves. Oh, whoops, I accidentally clicked outside of there. Should probably pay attention. Okay, let's just do that for now. And we'll hit spline meshes. We're going to create a new one. And then we drag our road onto that spline mesh. So content drawer, dirt road 3. Then we drop it onto that spline mesh. There we go. Okay, so that looks good. I mean, of course it's like really dark unless you get up close to it. But if we move our player start to where the camera is, and then I hit play, I'm now on Camp Road. All right, we're making progress. So I'm not too crazy about this drop off, but we can probably change um, we can like sculpt the earth around that to kind of fix that. And this is just the first pass because, like I said, we need a road just to get our bearings. So one thing I want to do too is I want to see what this road looks like with our lighting in a different area. So this is our directional light. I'm going to change the time of day. And we're going to put this a little bit higher up. And if you remember, the time of day is like really, really bad for this like overlay washout. But this is interesting because we could see the last spline that I did with all of these shadows here. See how this road is like way too big? Like that is that's probably gonna have to be fixed. In fact, I might go ahead and fix that here in a little bit. But this road here is much more accurate. Like that's the right size of the road. Um, Same with this camp road here. Like that is way too big. See, you can see those shadows really good now. Those are way too big. So I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't really want to like drop in a new world and then like do this all over again because I've already put in a lot of work into like some of these buildings. So maybe I'll sculpt this just to fix it up um, and then I'll redo it. I think I can also view this from reflections. Yeah, see that? So if I drop into reflections, I can see the road spline deformation really easy. So I'm probably just going to use reflections next time instead of messing with the location of the point light or the directional light. So let's go ahead and update the light to be like morning time because that seems to be the best for working with this overlay. Um, and let's go ahead and put the rest of the road down. So we'll go to landscape and let's select all of these. And we see that our mesh is right here for the road. If I click one of these that don't have it, does this mesh go away? And it does. So I think what we're going to do is trash this mesh so that we can restart. And I'm going to select all of these meshes and I'm going to put this road down. But before we do that, I'm going to finish the rest of the roads. So if we look at our notes, let's see what other roads we have. So we just finished Camp Road. And now we're going to do Southern Estates. So if you recall, Southern Estates Road is the one that points to the south, and it just keeps going up the mountain. If we bring over Google Earth, you can see this road just kind of meanders up. So see if we can locate it here on Unreal. And it's not really obvious to me, but I think this is probably the road right here. So let's go ahead and add in a spline. Of course, staff quarters are up here. At least the men are up here. Which, by the way, Abby, I might need some help with the women's cabin and the girls' cabin. I've only been in it like a couple times for like cleaning and stuff. But I forgot to put that down here. So finish all buildings. We'll do uh, girls' cabin. Weren't there two cabins? There's like a women's cabin and a girls' cabin. Maybe. Girls' cabin. Actually, if I look at Unreal, uh, or not Unreal, if I look at Google Earth, yeah, it's not spelled correctly. I guess it is. Women's cabin. If I look at Google Earth, can we see that cabin or was it burnt down too? I can't remember. Wasn't it up near? Okay, there it is. Yeah, this is the girls' cabin. I don't know. I thought there was a second one across the stream, maybe. Maybe that one burnt down, or it was deconstructed or something. I don't remember. All right. At least I got that notated so I don't forget. Okay. Save real quick in case we crash. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this spline. So we go to splines. Let's drop a new one down. And we're just gonna meander on up here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but then we basically finish up here at this little roundabout thing. Pretty sure that's what it was. So let's make a little roundabout. And we'll connect that back to itself. And let's go ahead and click all these, and change the parameters to make the width a little smaller. Okay, those are all selected. So the variable we chose was 500 for the half width, and then the side fall off was 100. Which I'm gonna put that down because I'm gonna forget it otherwise. I need to start making like more formal notes. Road notes. Half width is 500. Side fall off is 100. Okay. Let's see. Abby said neither of the cabins burnt, but the girls' cabin flooded and was demolished. The cabin you see there has the same shape of the women's winter cabin. Awesome. Um, so you're saying that this is the women's cabin, and then the girls' cabin was demolished somewhere around here. So I'll probably need help with the women's cat or the girls' cabin. I think it was like a little smaller, but like I said, I'm just gonna do like volumetric boxes for now so that I have a something there. Okay, so we've changed the width of the road for the southern estates. Um, Now let's deform the land around that. Okay, that looks good. Coolio. The only other road we have is the Sally Road. I can spell right. Completed. And we'll save that. All right, so the Sally Road might be a little bit easier because we can see it pretty well defined. Kind of goes like this, and then it goes up to Zachariah's cabin. But then there's also this jut out right here that went to the Sally house. And if we look at it on Google Earth, we can see it very clearly up here, where it kind of meanders, and the Sally cabin was right around here. And then up here was Zachariah's cabin. So um, we're just going to follow this line up here and make some more splines. I think I'm going to move this so that we have a side by side while I'm doing this. So something like that. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, more splines. And we'll start up here. Right up here. Cross the river. Cross the river. Come up here. Go this way, this way, this way. Goes down a little bit and then back up. It just kind of goes into nothing up there. Actually, it goes to the southern estates, but we didn't really ever have the opportunity to go see the southern states. So I can't say that I can model those very well. I mean, if you took the blue trail, I think you could go see the southern estates, like across the Bear Creek maybe, but I don't have enough memory of them to be able to model that. So we might just put like fake houses in there. Um, okay, can I change the half width? Oh no, I need to select all of those. Okay, so um, let's also do the Zachariah road as well. And we locate that. I think it goes right here, so we're gonna click there. Oh, we're gonna click there for a new one. Oh, I see. It took it from the last one. So how about we go there? Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, so it kind of juts out here, goes up there, makes a little dogtail, and then basically it goes right there. Okay. So now I'm just going to select all these points. And we'll change the width for all of these so that they're not absolutely massive like the first time I tried this. Okay. And on our details page, change this to 500 and this to 100. Make sure we got them all. I think we did. Oh, did I select those? Maybe I did. Yeah, I already deformed those. Okay. So now I'm going to deform the Sally Road by just deforming all splines. We'll hit that a couple times. And there we go. Now we got a road. Or at least we have a spline for a road. All right. So at this point, I think I have all the roads mapped for camp. That's so cool to see. Let me just bring in Google Earth here as an overlay. Yeah, that's good. Sweet. Okay, so now the fun part. We're gonna actually put a mesh down for um, for the road. So I have to select all the splines or all the segments. Wow, that was nice. Okay, so I just selected all the segments. And then in the details page of the segments, there's going to be a spline mesh. We're going to click add segments. Actually, can I select all points? Maybe not. I wonder why. Something's going on with these splines over here. I think I'm gonna just delete these over here, like the camp splines, because they keep causing some problems. Um, select objects. What happens if I delete these? Okay, I need to delete all of these. Although, I don't know, I like the location of those. Maybe I can just change the width. Yeah, let me see if I can just change the width. I need to select points. Just need to select the points. That's it. And let's test that. That's 500, and then 100 was the fall off. All right, cool. I think this is going to work. So we're just going to control click all these from the old ones that I made yesterday. And we're coming up to handicraft and the trading post. You know, I was thinking the other day, I'm pretty sure the trading post, whenever I first went to camp in 2006, I don't think that there was an admin building, so they actually used the trading post as like the admin building. If I remember correctly, there was like a room on the like trading post or the concession stand side that had all the admin stuff. Like I think they had a little office back there. I think that's actually the area they used for check-in and you know checking people in. Yeah, it just seems like that area was so small. Like I remember that room being tiny. That would have been rough having to be like the camp director and like having that be your office. Like you just want to escape and go to your office, but it's like one of the main buildings. It's got to be a better thing here than what I'm doing, which is just selecting every segment, but at least it's getting the job done. I guess I'm selecting points right now. So last night I kept working after I turned the stream off and I added. Oh yeah, that's right. The concession stand had a bathroom. I totally forgot about that. That was a good bathroom. I would use that bathroom a lot. And then the admin building came in, and those bathrooms were nice too. Much better than the latrines that we would find on camp. Oh, that's a good point. I should make a some areas for latrines, like the older latrines, like the basically the little two-person latrines. I could probably find a mesh on the Fab marketplace. Okay, so I have the rest of the camp splines selected. It looks like the half width was 500 that's there, but then the end fall off needs to be 100. And let's just ensure that 500 is selected. Okay. Something's still off to the side fall off. Oh, the side fall off needs to be 100. That's right. All right, there we go. That looks a lot better. I'm just gonna deform again because I want to make sure these all look accurate. And I'll have to resculpt some of this. But man, that's really coming together. Like this looks pretty good. Like right here, we're at the trading post, and like that's not too far off. Okay, so we have all the points fixed, and all the roads are the right size. So at this point, I'm going to select all segments. And I was hoping that I could update the meshes for all of those. I don't think I can. In my details pane, I should have an option to drop in the mesh for the trails, but I don't see that option. What happens if I select these segments and one of these and maybe one from the camp road? Well, that gives me the option to add a, no, I can't even add a spline mesh. What the heck? Can there. I can't there. What if I hit that and maybe this one and this one? Okay, I can there. Maybe it has to be grouped up, but I basically need to create a spline mesh. I can't add one if it's not connected, maybe. Okay, that's probably the issue. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and save the level while I'm here because I'm gonna probably break some stuff. Let's actually go find a trail. Let's see if we can find a free path mesh trail. Path mesh trail, maybe. Rocky Forest path. Let's go. Let's show free products. Forest trail path free. That looks awesome. What are the poly counts though? Because that is way too big for my computer. That's not going to work. Dusty footpath trail. This seems a little bit too big. Yeah, it's a little bit too big. Rocky stone path. This might be good for the like red trail maybe. It's probably going to be huge though. Not available for use within Unreal Engine. Okay, this is only like used in like Blender maybe. What is this forest trail? I know it doesn't look great. Oh, it's like an actual forest. Don't want that. Speaking of forest, I bought uh, a Ponderosa pine on the Fab. If I go to my library, I bought like a $7 Ponderosa pine, and it looks pretty cool actually. They even have a dead Ponderosa pine, which is honestly why I chose this. Uh, um, why I chose this mesh because there's going to be, of course, a ton of dead Ponderosas all around camp. But this mesh includes the juvenile Ponderosa as well as like a billboard version, which is for long distance rendering or LOD. There's like a medium Ponderosa and then the large one. So, or I guess the juvenile and then the large one. But also it sways in the wind automatically, which is really cool too. Unfortunately, I don't think it comes with the butterscotch smell as much as I wish it would. But I'm gonna use the foliage um, tool later to maybe put on a few trees just to like give us a visual of what everything looks like with some trees. I also need to find a spruce and probably some like bushes and then a bunch of like random rocks, but that will come later. All right. While we're working on it, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting down a mesh for some of these roads. Looks like I can only do it um, like one at a time. So each segment here that I've built, I'm gonna just lay on this mesh. Ah, man, this is tricky. I need to probably learn how to select all the meshes within my road so that I accurately can click on them a lot quicker and not have to accidentally click away and then it deselects all of them. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is put down a mesh for that path that I downloaded. After I finish clicking for the Sally Road, okay, that's that. So then I go to Spline Mesh Array, I open that up for the first one. And then I go to Content Drawer, and we're going to put the dirt road down for that. And there's that one. And we'll do the same here. I don't know why I can't add that. Oh, I think I had to click away. That's right. Okay, I just had to click away. It's in a different group. So I think what happens is whenever I deform the landscape, it will automatically assign all of those splines to a certain group. And then I can only edit spline meshes within that group. So that's what we're going to do here. Same thing. I'm just going to drag our dirt road 3 that I chose onto that. Okay. I know Shangri-La was its own, so I'm going to click all of these. Oops. I accidentally clicked on the point. I gotta restart. Okay. Did I click on the point again? This is the tedious part that no one wants to do. Okay. Better. Click all these. All right, sweet. Create new mesh. And then we're going to drop our road down onto that mesh again. Okay, and we'll do this for the road coming into camp. Oh, I guess we made one of those. Yeah, I guess we did. Okay, we'll delete that. Okay, open that up. Drop the road down onto there. Okay, it's coming together. Let's do the camp road here, which is the overpass, basically. Forgot the name of this road. Was it Camp Road or Staff Road? is it Staff Road? Is that what it was? Or was it just Southern States Road? I don't even know. I forgot. And hopefully by the time I have my computer back, once I move, I'll be able to, uh, whenever I actually put a real dirt road down that looks much more realistic, um, I'll have a better understanding of how to select all these than what I'm doing now, which is very tedious. Okay, and we're just gonna put the road mesh on top of that segment grouping as well. And I know it looks really dark, but if you go up really close, then it starts to lighten up. And this is just an effect of like Unreal Engine, I guess. Because right now we're actually sort of in the dusk time or at morning time. And so the road's just going to look really dark in general. Because we don't have like a direct light coming down. Things will look a lot better though once we actually get um, some real terrain painted down. Can't tell if this is all the same one, but um, looks like there's already a spline mesh array for those, which is cool. Right, now I'm just going to finish selecting all the camp roads. So also last night I was playing with water. I was learning how to make lakes in water. So we might add that to the video if this doesn't get too long. We're already at like an hour and a half. Time is flying by and all I've done is roads. I'd say that this is a very tedious project. Okay, and this should be the last of the roads. All right, cool. So I don't remember where player start was, but first things first is I'm going to save so that if we crash, we can at least get our roads back. Okay, so I'm going to locate player start. Actually, I'm going to locate this box. I'm going to move player start right here. And then I'm going to play. And let's see if this road actually makes sense. And it does. I'm gonna have to resculpt this a lot, I think, because this road is it's pretty accurate, like this size of road for sure, but of course the sculpting there needs to be updated. But all the roads are in, and I'll have to do a lot of sculpting. But yeah, this kind of makes sense. We're crossing Bear Creek here, where you see the commissary up there, and you can see the admin building down there. You come down to the admin building. We take a right, and we cross Bear Creek again. And we get to our road, which is the camp road. And parking lots right over here. So yeah, feel pretty good about that. All right, so what's next on our list? Finish the Sally Road. And we also put down a road texture or mesh. Down the road mesh. That's gonna be. All right, so now we want to section off areas for the merit badges and everything else. So like I said earlier, I got a fence from Fab, and I think it's medieval modular wall fence. Looks like this. Nothing crazy, but it's just something to put down to kind of like section off certain areas of camp. So the first one is outdoor skills. So if we zoom out, we can see that outdoor skills is probably going to be like right here, I think, because the lagoon was like right over here. Right here was the lagoon, I think. You know what? I'm going to actually put down some geometric shapes for the lagoon because those were like pretty important areas of um, landmarks for camp. So I think for for the lagoon, I'm going to use a sphere, and we're going to make the sphere a little bit bigger. And we're going to move it down there, and then move it to the lagoon, which I think is right here. And then we're going to change the Z to be flatter. So I just flattened the sphere basically. And then we're going to hit end, and it's going to drop it down. And then we're going to make the X and Y a little bit bigger. And then let's make the Y a little bit bigger. And then that's going to be our lagoon. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to move it over here because we're going to make another one for the lake, for the pond. And let's go ahead and rotate it. And then I think we want to make it a little bit bigger. And I think that's good. And honestly, while we're making lagoons, let's make another one. And we need to go put this one down. Whoa, where did it go? There it is. Is it out of frame? I don't understand that. That's weird. Getting a little worried that Unreal's being finicky here. Let me see if I can move it. Okay, there we go. Drop it down. Move it up. And drop it down. Kind of hard to see it. Okay, there we go. So it's not being finicky. It just was really far down in elevation. So now we're going to place the fishing pond, which I'm pretty sure was like right around shooting sports. like right next to this. Uh, right next to this road right here. And then I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Something like that. Okay. All right, so now let's section off outdoor skills. Um, so I haven't really worked with meshes too much. I think all we do is we bring in our mesh into the environment. And I'm going to change my camera speed so that I can move around without absolutely zooming off frame. And let's go ahead and move the fence out here to the road. Wow, this road is huge compared to this fence. It's not good. Seems like it's a little too big. Yeah, this road seems massive. Maybe this fence is just too small. I can certainly make it bigger. Actually, let's put in a mannequin. Character. No, it's not what we want. We want a mannequin. So we got to actors, meshes, simple Manny. Oh, okay, yeah, that's better. The fence mesh was just too small, so we're gonna use the mannequin to make it a little bit bigger. Medieval modular fence. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new folder. We're going to call this areas. Then within areas, we're going to create yet another folder. We're going to call this outdoor skills. And then we're going to move our modular fence into outdoor skills. That way, if I duplicate this fence, it will hopefully create another one for me and put it in that same folder. But I don't see that being the case. Place actor, edit, duplicate. Okay, yeah, it does. See that it just added a new one, so then I'm going to move this. Let me move this details out of green. Okay. I'm just going to move this over. And now we have a much longer fence that connects a little bit better. I'm going to duplicate again, move it over, and let's move all of these over. Okay, this is pretty good. Not terrible. Like working with meshes is not awful. I'm convinced. Um, so let's just go ahead and make this area. So I need to rotate and then translate again. Is this the right spot? I think so. Maybe it's more right here. Yeah, I think it's more over here. And there was a campsite like right over here. There's actually a road that keeps going up this way. I forgot about that. I might have to add that road. We'll get to that later, but I think outdoor skills was right here. We're going to duplicate all of those, and we're going to move all of those over. And let's move all those over so that the other fence stays there. Oh, I see. They're all below the earth. That's why I can't see them. Okay. We just have these. And then we'll move those over, like I said. All right. And duplicate all that again. And we'll move these. Rotate to 90, and I'm going to snap so that I can rotate 90 degrees. There we go. And then we're just going to butt this up right next to there. Okay, that's not 90. That's 90. Oh, you know what? There is a feature that I can snap items to the land surface. Yeah, so snap, toggle whether objects snap to surface when you drag them, use the submenu. Okay, so let's move these up. We're going to go down, and now we should see that it snaps to the surface. Yeah, look at that. See, it's kind of staggered. And I'm going to do the same with these in front. Actually, I could do it with everything, now that I'm thinking of it. And I just move everything up. And then I hit end, and it'll snap to the actual surface. So that's cool. All right. Let's get this whole section, duplicate these, and I'm duplicating on another screen here, that's why you can't see it. And then we'll just move these over. And let's do a little rotation and a little more translation. And then if we go up and we hit end, then it should snap right into yeah, right into the earth. All right, cool. So just to recap, I'm learning meshes here, and you can see that I can select different meshes within our view here, and it's all within this area called outdoor skills. Abby said, doesn't someone have the inventory for trees and outdoor skills? Oh, you mean like what type of trees grew or like grow in that area? Maybe so. I know Ponderosa pine's in there. That's the main one. Speaking of which, let's maybe drop Ponderosa down and see what it looks like. We'll put it in outdoor skills here. If I go to my content drawer and I go to, see, I'm trying to remember where this was. Pinus ponderosa, that's it. Then we go to loan, we go to mesh. Is it loan? No, that's the billboard. This one is the loan. Let's see what that one looks like. Yeah, there it is. Nice. I also had a spruce forest. Let's drop down a random spruce tree next to it and see. Do a full, do high res, full spruce one. And that's what that looks like. Obviously, it looks terrible because the background is really bad. Let me change my point direction light to be where the camera is. We're going to scroll back and I'm going to click on this point light. And let's get the mountain in the background. We're going to click on this point light. Let's change the direction of this light. And that looks much better. Of course, that pine looks great in the light, and you can kind of see it swaying a little bit. It's like just barely moving around. Either that or I'm going crazy. But definitely the spruce moves around a bunch. Do you see this? It's like practically alive. Uh, there was a joke that someone had a count of the number of trees left after the fire. That's funny. I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess there was someone that had an inventory. That's so funny. We need Amy, or who is an outdoor skill or nature? Was that Amy? There's a bunch of different people, but yeah. All right, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Let's actually move our player start to, oh yeah, Connor for sure. I think you're right. Let's move our player start and let's see what this Ponderosa looks like up front and close to us. Yeah. Oh, there's collision too with this fence. It's pretty neat. Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate scale for that Ponderosa, I think. Same for the spruce. Now, the problem with this spruce is, well, one, it's the wrong spruce. Two, I guess the collision is really bad on it because I can walk right through it. But this spruce comes from like a tropical, like think like Florida spruce. And so this this is obviously not the right spruce for us. So I need to go find a real spruce tree for um, for Spanish speaks. But yeah, this Ponderosa looks pretty great. If I can go right up to it, I'll smell it. Ah, butterscotch. All right. So I'm gonna leave that tree there. I kind of like it. It's a good tree to put in outdoor skills. I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and I feel like outdoor skills is done, so I'm gonna say this one is completed. All right. Now we need to go make first class trail, and I'm gonna bump up my camera speed a little bit so I can zoom around a little quicker. All right, so first class trail was basically up on this hill. Oh, let me change the point direction light to go back to nighttime because we need to render uh, our overlay. And actually, I think I want to put this into like morning, something like that. Yeah, so there's this hill up here next to the lake, and I'm pretty sure this big hill was where First Class Trail was. It was kind of behind the shower house. So I'm gonna maybe put it like right over here. Does that look right? Oh, picnic table fabs. Good point. There was a couple picnic tables at First Class Trail. Let's go to the fab marketplace. And let's see if we have some free ones because I don't want to keep buying assets. Low poly, that's perfect. I love low poly. Let's see how big this is. Yeah, that's decent. Number of vertices, that's decent, and it's also compatible with Unreal. So we're gonna add that to project. Okay, maybe closer to the showers. Yeah, you're right. Like maybe right over here. Somewhere right there. Let's go ahead and put down a couple picnic tables. Go to static meshes, and this picnic table is upside down. Why is it upside? Oh my gosh. Look at how big this picnic table is. I'm pretty sure first class trail picnic tables are not that big. I'm going to rotate this to normal. And I have snap on, so this should snap right into our normal. Maybe. Okay, something like that. And then let me rotate this way. Rotate that way. Maybe back. Okay. I'm going to hit end. It's going to drop it down to the level. And then I'm going to make this much smaller. Whoa, too small. All right. How is that? It's a little bit too big. Um, Toggle whether objects resize to preset ratio. Yes. And we're going to make this preset probably 0.1. We make it a little smaller. Let's do there. All right. Oh, wow. This is going to be rough. There we go. Oh, there's a picnic table. Feel pretty good about that size. Let's move that maybe right here. And we're going to move it up, and then we're going to hit end. And it is upside down again, so let's put it right side up. End. Okay, I'm gonna throw down another mannequin because mannequins are really good for accurately sizing up bigger elements. And that picnic table seems a little too small. So this mannequin is going to be an accurate size for a human. So we're going to probably be reusing the mannequins. Like eventually we're going to have mannequins all over camp, and it's going to be very creepy, and I'm excited for it. Let's go ahead and move this table 180 again because I just realized it's also upside down. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. And we need to probably untoggle the snap feature here because it's gonna cause some problems. Um, and I don't think we can make that any smaller, so let's make this a little bit bigger, but we're gonna fine tune it with our scale here. We can do this with a little slider, which makes it a little easier to do. So I think that feels pretty good. Maybe just slightly bigger. No. How about that? I think that's good. Okay, we'll hit in. That seem like the right size for a table? I think so. Okay. We need to make another area. We're gonna call this first class trail. FCT. And then we have our picnic table. We're going to move this into first class trail. And let's rename it to first class trail. Table 1. And we'll duplicate this. Edit, duplicate. And we got table 2. And we're going to move table 2 over here. Let's give it a little bit of rotation so it's kind of off center. So it looks a little more natural. Move this table here. And we're going to end there. And then end so it drops down. Okay. One thing I remember in first class trail is that there was a big tree in the middle. So let's add another Ponderosa. And actually, it might be kind of cool to just put tables, Ponderosa, and mannequin in every area. So let's just do that. So we need to go find our Ponderosa. This was in meshes, loan. Drop it like right there. So those tables. Maybe a little bit there. All right, cool. We'll paint on a bunch of trees later. Oh, this is cool. So if you look at this Ponderosa here, it's actually showing in LOD, level of detail. I'm like kind of far away, but as I get closer, it should show all the leaves. Yeah, see, there you go. So that's really cool. So Unreal Engine will automatically do LOD for you so that rendering is a lot easier. If like objects are really far away, it's not like spinning a whole bunch of compute cycles to render that. I'm gonna go ahead and save because I really like the progress thus far and I don't want the game to crash and we lose it. Man, things are coming together. You know, camp's looking very good in the morning lights. You can barely see the Indian chief. Okay, I was gonna put some tables down, so let's take our first class trail tables. We'll copy those. We're gonna duplicate, edit, duplicate, We're going to move those both to outdoor skills. And then we're going to right click and we're going to say move object to camera. And that's going to put both of them right in front. And we're going to hit end and it's going to drop them down to the floor. And then let's move both of them to snap into place on the ground. And let me remove that so we can get a little more fine grained detail. And I'm going to move one of them translate one of them over. And I think there was one over here. I know there was like a tent that we'd usually put over the top of it, like a canvas tent. And I think this one was like way back here. Because we'd have like, you know, pioneering up front and then like hiking or camping in the back. So let's go ahead and put another mannequin down. Characters, mannequin, that was just there. Which is simple Manny. Cool. I'm going to put this simple Manny in outdoor skills. Oh, maybe I can't. All right, then I'm going to call him Chris. Outdoor skills. Actually, this is going to be me. Outdoor skills. And then let's go find all the rest of the Mannies. So this one is First Class Trail. Edit. I guess Abby, do you want to be First Class Trail Manny? I think I can change the Manny to be a Quinn. So we got a girl. So here you are, Abs. You got your girl Manny in the game finally. Okay, Amy. We should make Amy. All right, we'll say Amy. All right, there she is. I'd say either Amy or Rachel actually, because I think Rachel did First Class Trail. Um, all right, so we have First Class Trail. How do you think that is? Is it too far up the hill, or should it be closer to the showers? Maybe if I let me drop in a player start here. I'm gonna change that. Move to move object to camera. And then if I play this, here's the showers, which probably need to be sculpted a little bit. But if I go up the hill, does that seem too far or too close? I guess this is like right on top, so maybe I'll move it a little bit closer to the showers. Because I think there was a little more of a hill before you get to like campsite 2. Yeah. Because then you keep going and like campsite 2 is right here. Campsite 3 is up there, so maybe just a little closer to the showers. So to do that, I'm going to take everything in First Class Trail, which I need to move the Ponderosa up to First Class Trail, and 2 picnic tables, and then the mannequin as well. So I'm just going to click all those, and then Amy mannequin. And everything is going to translate a little bit to the right. And then if we hit end, then it drops everything down to snap to the ground. All right, I'm gonna have to stop the stream for a sec, but I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom and also, I guess I'll keep the stream running, but I'll be right back. All right, hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to chat with my girlfriend and ate lunch because I was getting pretty hungry. All right, sweet. I'm just reviewing some of these photos. I'm definitely gonna use those to maybe build out some of the meshes for camp. Um, all right, where were we at? Let's do a quick save. And move my assets over here. We're gonna go big and okay, you said maybe nature is closer to showers. Yeah, you just have to leave room for campsite 2. True. Campsite 2 is like right over here. Right there, maybe. We'll get to the campsites. Let's look at our list, and um, we have first class trail complete. Oh, actually, we need to put some fencing down. I wanted to do that just to like make it a little more prominent. So I think we will copy some of our modular fencing. Let's go find it. Okay. All right, let's copy these, and I'm gonna put them in first class trail. All right, so we have this, and we're just gonna move it over to first class trail, and I'm gonna have to drag that over. So let's find medieval modular fencing and move it over. There we go. Now let's duplicate that, move it over. And then we will select both of these, duplicate both of them, and move those over. Select all of them, and duplicate those two. Put it on 90 degrees, maybe a little bit over. Move that over there, right end. Not go there. Up and over. This way. I'll hit end. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's good. Oh, I need to probably hit end for all of these. No, that's outdoor skills. And for all these. Oh, that is everything. That is the landscape. I don't want to move the landscape. Move it all up and then hit end for all. Still shows these are not not working. So what if we hit end for each one individually? To see what's happening. So if I select all of them at once, then it will end in wherever they're located. That's where it'll stop. But if we select one individually, it'll go down. You can see that. So I'll get better at that. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So outdoor skills is done. First class trail is done. Let's go put down one for nature, and we're going to take one of these tables with us, and we're going to move it over to nature. And if I remember correctly, nature was like right here. There's like this little bump where nature's at. Right there. Same thing. I'm going to put down a Manny. Actually, that's a Quinn. Let me change that to Manny. And this is going to be Connor. Connor. Sure. And then we will also put down a Ponderosa pine. Okay. Let's duplicate our modular fence. And over here on my other screen, I'm going to make another area for nature. Modular fence, I'm going to move down here. Duplicate that, move it over. Duplicate this. Rotate it. Duplicate it again. Move it over. And rotate. This will be nature. So each one of these items I'm going to move into nature. And then this Ponderosa, I need to move into the nature bucket. And then there's another Ponderosa somewhere. This one needs to go to outdoor skills. And then what about this spruce? This spruce also needs to go to outdoor skills. Okay. The picnic table for nature needs to actually be in the nature picnic table area. Okay. So nature's done. All right. At this point, we want to go make the flag area. So this is going to be up here next to the commissary. Control save real quick just so we have everything. And just doing something here on the side, one sec. Okay. So now I want to make the flag poles. And if you recall, the um, flagpole area, we can kind of see it is like right here, right next to the commissary. We open up Google Earth, you can see that it's this little box here. So I think in the fab marketplace, I'm gonna go look for some logs. And we're gonna look for some free logs. Eroded pine log. I feel like that's pretty good. Definitely the logs that we used to sit on were a little eroded. Um, how big is this? Okay, it's not even for Unreal, so we're not going to use that. How about old wooden log? That seems good. Yeah, we'll down on high quality, not available for use within Unreal. Dang it. Birch log. Let's see if this one actually. Do we have a compatibility for Unreal? That would be great. Maybe 3D. So we need to be birch log. Let's see if that's it. Not available with Unreal. The heck? We already looked at old log, old wooden log. Did we see this one? Not available for Unreal. Yeah, that's not going to work either. Old wooden log. These are all not available for Unreal. Do I have something checked that says only non-Unreal assets? Which log? Compatibility, Windows. Okay, how about just log? So I'm trying to find a log for the sort of benches, like the outline of the camp flags. Um, but I've yet to find one that's actually compatible. We're not going to mess with that. I guess for now we'll just put in, I guess we'll put in the cylinder volume. Shapes cylinder. Drop that there. Let's change our zoom speed to be 5. And then raise this. And let's put it on its side. And then we're going to elongate it. And I'm also going to make a new area here called flags. And go to areas and create subfolder. Call this flags. And we're going to move our cylinder into flags. Okay. So I'm also going to move these out of the way. Make Unreal half size here. And Google Earth. It's going to be right there. There's basically a little path right here that was dug in, but that used to be grass, so I'm not going to put that there. It's not very accurate. We're going to move this over. These flags were actually not too far from the road. And maybe down just a tad. Let's move it up. All right, we'll duplicate that. Move that over. Duplicate that. Move that over. Put it at 90 degrees. Put that into place. Duplicate once again. Move that over. Move both of those. Then we're going to duplicate both of those. Move the duplicates up here. And for this one, we're going to make it a little shorter. Now I'm just realizing we might as well just do this once. Make it a little bit shorter. Move it over. And move that over. Okay. Let's go ahead and make the health lodge. So if you recall, the Health Lodge was like pretty close to the commissary. I think maybe right there, commissary. And of course, there was like a little path right here. You could view the flags and look up at the mountain. That's so cool. Not quite sure how to get this to lay down flat. Need to go all the way to the floor there. There we go. Maybe that's it. No, I think that's it. It just needs to be further down. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. I need to drag it around, but I need to change the normal, which is like the bottom part of it. I wonder if there's a mesh I can put to this too. I don't know. We'll get to that. I still need to figure out how to manipulate some of these. That's not the right one. This one, not that. Maybe that was it. Yeah, it's the green one. Okay, that works. We'll just, oh, I need to drop that down too. This looks pretty terrible, but it gets the job done. And what I like about it is I can move everything in one go so that it lines up a little bit better with our Google Earth. And it has a little bit of a tilt like that. All right. And of course, we need another cylinder to be the flag. Let's move that into the middle. Oops, that needs to go up. Move it straight up and down. But we need to scale it because it's a little bit too tall. And then also the flag itself needs to be, like the flagpole itself needs to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to narrow it down like that. Yeah, that looks amazing. Okay. And then let's drag this over there. And then we're going to duplicate that, move it over. And let's make this one just a little bit smaller. a little bit shorter. And same thing, duplicate that, move it over to the left. All right, there's our flags. Seems seems sort of accurate. Once you start texturing everything and putting down uh, grass and trees, like things are gonna come together. Okay, so this area is done, like just for prototyping. And then we need the chapel. So let's go up here to our chapel. I see. Something's floating. What is that? Oh, that's the game start. Okay. So let's go up to the chapel. And let's make a little chapel. But let's see if the fab has something. I'm going to save everything real quick. I want to make sure we don't lose anything if the game crashes. Okay, go to fab, content drawer, fab, marketplace. Let's just find a chapel. Of course, a free one. We just need like a really small little chapel. It's probably going to be too big. Yeah, all these are like buildings. All right, how about a shelter? Yeah. And filter is already free. There's barrack. What is this? This might be good. Maybe not. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. I could also just put a little box because I guess I've put little boxes everywhere. I'll just do that. I'll just put a box down. Don't need to make it harder than it is. Shapes, cube. Drop a cube down. And let's scale this up. And move it up. I want to make it to where it's like actually, whenever I move it, it is offset to where it's like actually on the ground. I can't really do that. So I'm just going to go up and then hit end. And it's going to drop it down. And then we want to convert this to point to the mountain. I think that's good. As that for a chapel, let me create a new area in our outliner. We're going to call this chapel. We're going to move our cube into the chapel. And then there was like some rocks at chapel. I have some really cool rocks downloaded. So I think I might actually put some rocks down. You don't remember where I put them. Fab medieval rock wall scan. Is that it? Or not rock wall, but dirt rock. Oh, that was the one that I found earlier. Oh, it's in speaker content, I think. Maybe not. Megascans? Could be in Megascans. There we go. Let's see what this is. Cracked Nordic Beach. Pretty sure they were sandstone rocks, but we're just gonna add a couple rocks up here. We're gonna hit in. And let's just duplicate these, move them around. Something like that. Nothing crazy. Just because we had some rocks up there, I want to make sure they get there. Um, mannequins. Mannequin. I'm gonna put Nathan Jenkins. Call him Nathan. Nathan Chapel. I'm gonna move the player start to Nathan Chapel. And I'm gonna play the game and just look around here. That's a pretty good sized chapel. I think that's fairly accurate. And there were some rocks. We can jump on the rocks if we want to. I should probably put a Eagle Rock down here as well. It was like right over here somewhere. Right there. Probably duplicate this. Move it down. Somewhere right there. Little Eagles Rock. Okay, so chapel's done. All right, now we need to section off areas for campsites. And I think what I want to do for this is just place some of those canvas tents that I found on the fab. I think at the end of this video, I might also just put a ton of trees down and just get a lay of the land real quick and maybe do some quick sculpting. But that'll come here in a bit. Let's go ahead and put together campsites. So if I remember correctly, there was a campsite that kind of straddled the road right here. Does that sound right? Or was it just right up here? I don't remember. Actually, what would be really cool is if I could paint the terrain where the camp was, where the campsites were. Let me do that. So I saved everything. Let me just double check that I certainly saved everything. Save all. Okay. Yeah. Might have to bear with me, but I want to start painting actual terrain down. So I need to learn how to do that. First thing I want to do is change the skylight direction to be a little more appropriate, I'm gonna also find the shortcut for moving light. Moving light, Unreal directional shortcut. Okay, here it is. Quickly rotate the sunlight. All right, Control L, Control L. Oh yeah, okay, I see that. Control L. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. So basically, it's giving me the ability to kind of move the light around in whatever way that I want to get different versions of the shadows and everything else. So we see that the light is kind of evening time up here, but what that does is it washes out this terrain really bad, and we don't want that. We want our light to actually give us an accurate idea of what's being shown on the terrain. So I want to like repaint this landscape. So I'm going to Control S again because surely I'm going to screw stuff up, and I will want to go back to a previous point. And I think what I'm also going to do is duplicate this level, because what we've been doing is we've been editing a level this whole time. And under SPSR content, under levels, we've been editing this scale to height landscape, which is the same name up here. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it new scaled height landscape underscore new texture landscape. And I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to take a while to copy because there's a lot of assets. So I'm going to give it a second. While it's working on that, I'm going to watch a little video for how to texture Unreal placeholder real world brain, maybe. Move this over so you can't see it. So just bear with me for now, but I'm over here on the other side just trying to learn how to texture. Basically how to retexture my map. All right. Well, I'll probably go in this stream. I will probably jump back on later tonight, but I have a lot of like little things to learn, so I'm gonna keep chugging along. But I'll probably put this on YouTube as well here pretty soon. What I'm doing is just copying this existing map, and it's taking a little bit of time, so I'm gonna let that cook. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep learning. So thanks for joining. See you later.